Thanks for the support as a channel member, Terrible Gaming. Well, that was a summer yesterday, and now we start life in League One, and I'm sort of tentatively, quietly confident that I think we've put a good team together. I guess we're about to find out. Hello and welcome to part 65 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our first 2 games in League One ever. We're away against Wigan and then at home against Lincoln. Interestingly, mentioning we're at home, we still have no news on our ground situation. This is our 3rd year in the Football League. The ground still doesn't meet the regulations. I don't know how we're getting away with it, but presumably we're going to be in an almost empty ground again all season. And not just because we've got no fans. If you missed the transfer special yesterday, it was a good one. So much of a good one. It gave me a little bit of wind, but it was a good one. We didn't spend any money on transfers, but we have put some money into wages for some big signings. This guy Pavlov, we're paying £8,500 a week to. We're expecting goals from him. This guy Querol, we're paying £4,500 a week. We're expecting wonders from him. He's such a good player from the little that I can tell by, let's face it, looking at the star ratings. And there are others in there as well that we have spent some money on wages. We are now spending over £90,000 a week on player wages. We need to get a couple of them out on loan to just rebalance those books. But we're not going to worry about that today. We're going to worry about Wigan. And this is the team we're putting out there to face Wigan. A new look side. So new goalkeeper Hardy starts in goal. He came in the summer on a free transfer from Preston. It's a little bit of a coin flip between whether we go for him or Hattersley. And on that basis, probably should go for Hattersley. But match fitness wise, clearly my assistant manager has favoured Hardy in the pre-season friendlies because Hattersley a lot further off being match fit than Alan Hardy is. So Hardy gets the nod. Barnes is back on loan for this season playing at left back, joined in the defence by new boy Liam Kitching, our new 30-year-old, basically Lavelle replacement. Lots of experience at this level, so he's going to partner O'Driscoll, who's also back for another season on loan. And then more experience in the shape of Anthony Ralston, who came in on a free transfer from Hull. And again, lots of experience at this level and higher levels when he was up in Scotland. Midfield, Dean back on loan for another season. We know how good he is. He's partnered by John Clark, 26 years old, an old man as far as signings for me are concerned, but another one who spent his entire career playing in and around the Championship with the odd loan out at this level. So has plenty of experience playing at a higher level, like Dean, like Barnes, like Broadbent. So should offer us some good levels of experience in midfield while still being young enough to want to prove himself. Up front, so as our front four, Goldie is back on loan, Palmer is back on loan. They're joined by Barry Murray, 23 years old. He's a winger, capped at under 19 level for England. Another one who's not quite made the breakthrough in the Championship for Brentford, stepping down a division to try and show just how good he really is. And Goran Pavlov makes his debut, his first game in English football up front. 4 goals in 6 appearances for Bosnia, and he's still only 21 years old. Been scoring for fun for Sarajevo for many, many years, and hopefully carries that goal scoring form over to League One and becomes the big goal scorer that we've been looking for. Quirrell's going to start from the bench, but will almost certainly come on as the game goes on. We've got another promising good striker, Jeff Scargill, who's another one with Championship experience if Pavlov doesn't work out. And of course, Chris Sadler still knocking around as well, as is Mark Sheffel, as is Lavelle. We've got some decent strength in depth. McWilliams still here, Broadbent still here. They're both injured today, which is why they don't feature. But we've got a good squad. Hopefully this good squad translates to a good team, and that all translates to a good performance against Wigan. I'm going to sit up straight, wearing my stay-at-home t-shirt, sit up straight, and hopefully we can. Yeah, am I expecting us to win? I kind of am. The pre-match inbox thing told me that we weren't going into this attacking enough. We should be going in with an attacking mentality. Now, to me, away from home against what I would always consider quite a big side for League One, in the shape of Wigan, I've certainly got a big ground. It just seems mad as a newly promoted team to come here and go attack him. We'll stay with our positive mentality for now and see how it works out. But clearly the media and my staff think that we're not the worst team in the world. Pre-season media prediction of a 7th place finish means we'll be battling for a playoff spot. Sir Mick Powell is looking for a mid-table finish, just kind of getting ourselves settled into life in League One. The man is a wonderful man. He's a very patient man who still pours money into the club every summer to clear our debts. Another £1.5 million coming in from the Bank of Powell this summer. And he still says, Kev, just mid-table is fine. We'll go up next year. Or in fact, he says mid-table for the next 5 years is fine. I'm hearing, don't get relegated this year. Get used to League One. We'll go up next year. That's the kind of shape of things that I'm aiming for. But I guess we have a better feel of that after these matches today, and that's a really unfortunate deflection. I mean, I would almost put that down as an own goal because it looked like it was going well wide, smacks into the side of, I think, O'Driscoll's head, and there's not really any accounting for stuff like this happening. It's just a freak occurrence. That was going well wide. It takes a huge deflection, which wrong-foots Hardy. I don't think we can blame anyone involved in that, but I don't see how it's gone down as a goal for their player who just wildly hit it into the side of one of my players' heads. Dean now trying to get things going in midfield, looking for options ahead of him, finds Clark. Clark gives it back to Dean, who releases Ralston on this right-hand side. First proper look at him in an attacking position. Finds Graham Goldie, who picks things up where he left off last year. Finished as our top scorer last year. Might have felt a little bit worried about the arrival of Querrell because they're going to play in the same position. Goldie's just saying, look, this is my spot in the team. This new fella, I don't care how much money you're paying him, he's going to have to win his spot. And I'm going to keep scoring goals. So, no. 1-1. I don't know why we're getting another replay of it. There's no question at all of this being offside, surely. Because he's just not offside. That run is from deep, and he passes about 3 Wigan players on the way through. And apart from anything else, it looked like Ralston crossed it backwards anyway. I don't think that was even a forward pass. But the goal stands anyway, so we don't need to argue about it too much. Barnes playing Pavlov in. This is the first time we've had a look at Pavlov, and he's scored on his debut. There were question marks asked about his finishing and whether he was the second coming of Luke Plange. But you know what? Luke Plange is one of the best players we've had in this series. If he is the second coming of Luke Plange, I'll take it. It's a lovely ball forward from Barnes. Pavlov takes it down, takes a touch, and applies a lovely finish. That's what $8,500 a week buys you at this level. He's too good to play in League One, I would suggest. I might be eating those words in a few episodes' time, but that's our first look at him, and he's taken the ball down brilliantly and scored a lovely goal to put us 2-1 up as we approach half-time in our first game ever at this level of football. And half-time in our first game, we're top of the league, I think. I just saw, mainly on alphabetical order, probably, because we're only ahead by the 1 goal. But, you know, that's the benefit of having a team that begins with B. Although, weirdly, Bristol Rovers, and I guess it's because we've scored 2 and have a goal difference of 1. I don't think we need to worry too much about league position at the moment, unless we finish the match top, in which case it's absolutely relevant because we're going to stay there forever. Header from them just over. I think we had it covered. I'm not going to worry too much just yet on whether or not we did. I came into this game very happy to get a draw. So if we manage to come away with this win, I'm super happy with bells on. What we don't have is anyone to come on to play in attacking midfield unless, can Scargill play there? Interesting. Well, that's a bonus from Scargill. If he's going to be able to go into that spot there, almost worth making him a shadow striker, I would suggest. So that's exactly what I am going to do. Kitching, he's on a yellow card, he's tiring and he's not playing very well. We've got Sam Lavelle on the bench, so 1 old man off, 1 old man on seems to be a sensible substitution. As much as I don't like changing the centre-backs in the middle of a game, Lavelle and O'Driscoll have played enough games together to be able to comfortably slot back into things, hopefully. And I think for my final change, I want to get Querrell on. He can play on the right-hand side, I think. He can. It's not the position he's going to play in long-term for us, but just for the sake of getting him on the pitch and having a look at him, we'll bring him on for Murray. We have still got Berry as well, who came back on loan again, but he's falling well down the pecking order. That's unfortunate. That's I feel a little bit robbed here. I know we've not had a clear-cut chance either, but I feel like their first goal was just a fluke, and this one, it's one good move. And should our defenders have coped with this a little bit better? I don't know. Do we look at Lavelle and say, you're the man who's just come on, you should have had that? Or do we just accept that, you know what, 2-2, we would have taken it before the game. We'll take it now. If we concede again here, I'll be proper grumpy. Barnes and Dean trying to combine to get something going. Pavlov overhit that really to Goldie, but Goldie's done well to keep hold of it. And here's Clark, and he loses out on the ball. And now Wigan have got another counter-attack opportunity, and we need to get a foot in here. This has been a long highlight. I think it ends with a goal, so it needs to be a goal for us. Scargill misses out, but then wins the ball back. Plays Pavlov in. He's in again. Pavlov this time doesn't hit the target, but does force the save, and we've got a corner. And it's who is that taking it? Was that Querol taking the corner? I couldn't read his name against the advertising board behind him. I think that's who it was, though. Can we have 10 minutes of passion to finish things off? Have I already hit get creative? I probably have. I'd rather have... Oh, here we go. Querol with a last-minute free kick. Can he announce himself in style as well? Free kick. He's scored. It's a stunning free kick as well. Every time I see those free kicks on Football Manager, they go near post. I don't know that I've ever seen a far post free kick go in like that. Pavlov was in there trying to get a touch on it and claim it. He doesn't know. Querol scores a stunning free kick on his debut, and already going into the second game I've got decisions to make, because Goldie and Querol really should be fighting for the same position, and they've both made a claim for it there. A last minute stunning free kick, and the two boys that we've spent all that money on in the summer have both shown that they were worth the investment on their debuts, and hopefully they can keep that form going. Right, we're going to go and play Lincoln now for our first home game at this level, and it's a Lincolnshire derby. We've played Lincoln quite a few times in the FA Cup over the years. I feel like we owe them. Let's give them what they're owed. No matter how good Goldie was last year, I couldn't not start Querol after that performance, after that goal in his 10-minute cameo at the end of the last game. And bringing him in does mean a slight restructure of the tactic, because we're going to play him on the left as an inside forward. So I've switched my attacking fullback from the right to the left to now have Barnes pushing up and overlapping him, which means I've also swapped over the midfielders, because I'm looking at my logic. Why did I have the defensive midfielder on the opposite side to the attacking fullback before? It probably does make more sense to have them this way round, because then we've got, when Barnes goes up there, Dean's across to cover. So, or like back to cover. He's not really going to spend any time out there. But still, we won't make that change, but we have made this change. So Barnes is going to get right up with Querol on that side. Lots of attacking coming down the left. We should probably be focusing and play down the left, but I ain't going to, because the right's good as well. The right's very good. He wants to be an attacking player. So we're not going to get too attacking. We've got 1, 2, 3 attacking players. I think that's fine for a positive mentality. I read about that after everyone told me about it in the other series, but I think there's logic as well to having Ralston not bombing up and down that wing all game long at 31 years old, even though he's good at it. Let's have the younger man who we know. I mean, Barnes spent a lot of last year playing on the left wing, so we're almost going to go to a 3 at the back with 4 behind the striker when Barnes pushes on and Querol nips in and Barnes pushes up and plays on the left. I can live with that. That feels like a lovely attacking system. Right, go out there, carry on from where you left off in the last game. I want to see what Querol looks like playing as an inside forward on this left-hand side for a full game, because we saw that moment of genius with the free kick. If he's got genius in him all game long, we're going to be in for a very good season. Pavlov can't quite get there first for the header. This is 2 games in a row the opposition have had a Chapman in their team. We no longer have one. He's gone out on loan, but it seems like it's a bit of a League One theme. Clearly, League One is where the Chapmans hang out. My team, Posh, are in League One. That's where I hang out. So, League One, a league for Chapmans. That should be the subtitle of the division, and I think I'm going to contact League One and see if they can make it so. There's your confirmation that the terraces are closed still, because apparently, according to league regulations, you're not allowed terracing in this league, even though, mentioning Posh, we still have a terrace in real life and still very much use it. So I'm not quite sure if that's a rule that's coming in the future, or a rule that somehow we're getting around in real life, but clearly Bourne don't have the nous to get round it. So with us having 3 sides of the stadium with terracing. That's 3 sides that can't be used, and we've only got seating for 800 people. And this is what I'm talking about the regulations. You're supposed to have a 5,000 seat all-seater stadium as a minimum in the Football League. We've got 800 seats, and that's all we've got open. Yet we'll probably have more than 800 as the attendance today, because I think we're just breaking the game. Querol can't quite get his crossover, but it falls to Dean, who's looking for options ahead of him, but instead goes backwards. O'Driscoll looking for Ralston, can't find him, and now we're going to get caught out by a counter-attack here as Ralston tries to chase back, and he is struggling to get there. He did get there in the end. Between him and O'Driscoll, they did very well. But we tried to clear it, but it's coming straight back. So we didn't clear it very well or very far, but now we have a corner just before half-time. Querol with the corner, looking for, I think it was Pavlov, doesn't quite find him. We find Kitching, he's not the man we want in that position. Clark is a better option, as is Dean. Dean sprays it out to Querol, who stayed over on the right-hand side, looking to skip past his man. He does, finds Pavlov, who... should have done a little bit better, maybe. I'm hoping for real greatness from these two now, and we were close to greatness there, but not quite close enough. And now Lincoln again are trying to get something going down this left-hand side. Ralston is very, very narrow there, but heads clear to Murray, who just, we seem a little bit unfit compared to Lincoln. I mean, although we've had 64% of the possession, it's like we're tiring ourselves out. They seem like they're first to everything. Right. We're not doing badly. I think that's fair. We're not doing badly. I don't know how good a side Lincoln are, but we're not losing and we're dominating possession, and we've had a clear-cut chance, although they've had 2. So I think we're doing okay in our big Lincolnshire derby. Querol with the header, and it goes just over. Goldie is probably itching to come on, and probably will be coming on, because looking at what's going on in the attack, it's not quite been the same up there today. With us shuffling things around a little bit, maybe it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to. Ralston plays it forward to Murray. He's continued his run on the overlap, but Murray instead plays it looking for Pavlov, who gets in and then shoots just wide. Oh, everything people said about his finishing might be becoming true, because he's had 2 really good chances in this game now, and that one was a big miss. He did very well to get there. Not every striker gets into that position, but once he's there, he's got to do better than he did with the finish, and it was really poor. I think he's going to be coming off in a minute, unless he does something here. So here is Pavlov running at the Lincoln defence. He's got Querol supporting him in the middle, but in the end just shoots wide, and I think that's probably going to be a last touch for Pavlov. They're going to give Scargill a go up front, another one who's natural as a pressing forward, which fits into how we want to be playing. But we're also going to bring on Goldie, because Querol, not quite as impressive playing from the start as he was hitting a free kick when he was full of energy late on in that game. So what I've not done is... you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave the fullbacks the way they are, because I think there's a lot of logic behind having Barnes as the attacking one rather than Ralston. So I'm going to make him support, and he can be the attacking winger, because he wants to do that. They both want to be attacking, but we'll just adjust the balance that way. Have we already asked for creativity? I'd like some more. I always want creativity, please. Kitching. Big ball forward. We're doing this non-league style. Scargill nods it down to Goldie, who's got Barnes on the overlap. There is Barnes, who's missed out on the ball and left a gap behind him, and it's left our defenders in a little bit of trouble, but Hardy does well to keep hold of it. As you can see, attendance-wise, there's nearly 2,000 people in our 800-seat stand today. Half of the fans have come from Lincoln, because it's just up the road. We need a new stadium and some more fans. We're going to bring Broadbent on in the midfield for his first appearance in League One. Broadbent signed a new 2-year contract in the summer, so he's still very much in my plans. He would have started the season if he hadn't have been injured. So very keen to get him back into the mix. Now he's approaching fitness again. O'Driscoll, I don't know why he's so far forward. I think he realised he was too, and has played it all the way back to Hardy, who finds Kitching, who's got Barnes in space out this side, but instead finds Murray in space on t'other side. Murray with the cross. Scargill's there, and that was another big chance. That hasn't gone down as a clear-cut chance. I would have said that was as good as either of the chances that Pavlov had. But alas, 'twas not. I don't know why I've done that twice in this game now. I'm going to try and behave myself and not do it again. Shot from range and it goes just over. This has been, despite us dominating possession, a fairly even match. A draw seems fair, but Graham Goldie doesn't care about fair. He's not happy that he didn't start, but he's not going to hold it against me. He's just going to come on, score a goal, and hopefully win us our local derby. Murray with the corner. Goldie rises above everybody to nod it into the back of the net, and Querol is going to have to earn his spot in the side. We said it in the last match. He kind of did, but it's pretty clear from this game that the next match, Goldie's back in again. And it's a nice problem to have. Tick it off on your cliche bingo cards. We've got strength in depth, arguably for the first time in the history of the football club. And that has been a pretty close to perfect start to the season. Right, we will be back tomorrow somewhere around here. Oh, we've got Dulwich Hamlet in the EFL trophy. We don't care about that, so I won't show you, but it's nice to see we still get to play them occasionally. Somewhere around here, probably early to mid-September, we'll do like half a dozen games and then see where we are and come back for another video. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.